2, 1. Hi, everybody. So today we are going to jump into our first peer programming project, and I want to just talk for a second about what that is. So this is 1.4, and peer programming is when two of you work on the same computer, and that can be a little frustrating for people if you don't work well together. But because of that, you only need to do both for the Google document that you need to fill out with your answers and for the Scratch project you turn in, you just need to make sure both your names are on it. So when peer programming, it's important that you take turns being in command. So there's the navigator who kind of helps communicate and is pointing to the screen, then there's the driver. And it's that role, the difference between the driver and the navigator. If you talk and you take turns and make sure not to grab, that's what's going to create an efficient team. So there's a couple do. Do, be respectful. Do, talk to one another about the work. Do, explain what you're doing. Because what helps when people code together as peer programmers, when they keep talking about what they're doing, it lets the other person kind of see what they're thinking, and then you can help each other, and sometimes it can trigger ideas you wouldn't have thought of yourself. So that's the reason that people do this professionally as coders. So do think ahead and make suggestions, and then also try to switch that role often. So which person is driving, which person has the mouse, try to switch around. Also, don't be a not bossy navigator. So if you're kind of making some suggestions and they're not following immediately, don't get frustrated. Just take your time and try to explain what you're doing. This kind of promotes both of you thinking on it more. Also, don't grab the driver's mouse. Who's ever driving, make sure you have to ask. Gonna have to be real strict on that. I know both of you want to take turns, but it's important to kind of explain yourself and take turns back and forth. Okay, so jumping into the project, it's going to be the name drop, and there's a couple things that I want you to think about as you're doing it. If you're struggling, one thing that they encourage is to use Google, so you can try to search for some examples and maybe even ask some other groups if they feel like they're doing really well. And if some of you finish early, I'm going to maybe have you focus on some of the extra features you could use. Okay, so jumping into the assignment. So what you should do is there's going to be this document at the bottom, and it's the Scratch name drop for peer programming. It's pretty self-explanatory. So this is going to be in Google Documents, and to answer these questions. So for some of these things, you're going to have to write your names and answer some of these questions. Remember just to click the text box. You can drag out your text, and then you can type there. So it would be Mr. Higgins is going to be my main name drop, right? And so you just click out. So that's how you can fill this up right here. So there's we've grouped these into kind of the C, B, and A category of projects, and what you'll need for that mild, that C+, what you'll need for the B, you're going to have more than 6 sprites. This is for both of you, remember? And for spicy, which is that A+, you're going to need 8 sprites, and then you're going to have to use a couple of the advanced loops. So right down here, we have that on page 2, we have the spicy when you're using loops, and you're going to add a random operator. And I have to experiment with this, it might not work. And then we've got project examples of what a C, a B, and an A project look like. So you can just click those when you want to go to it, and you'll be able to see the code. And you also see, so this is an A+ project for name drop, is when you get it to start. It's using random variables, it's moving, it's taking a while, and the costumes are changing on the letters. Last thing that I'm going to say is before in our project we downloaded the PNGs. That was a little extra layer to try to incorporate what we had done before. This time you can use the letters they give you, okay? I'm excited to see what you make and excited to see you guys work as a team. Okay, that's it. Have a great one. Good luck.